So, for my final couple pieces, I'm gonna read just a couple poems, and my theme is mother's love to a child. Just because I felt like going specific with love was kind of broad. So, the first one I'll read is kind of short. It's If I Sleep While My Baby Sleeps by Alice Vogel. And then I'll read Toad by Catherine Nuremberg. And that one's just a little bit longer. Yeah, alright. I will hear his sleep, and then throughout my sleep will be bathed in his as if we slept in one same fluid. My sleep floats within a listening, so deep that the separating spaces of air become as pliant and full as snowfall, its singing silence as profound. My ears and his throat, the sensation of anticipated hearing, close inside the ear, and the incipient murmur of cry, forming at the end of his sleep, born like birds and thrumming on the air of rooms between us. My own sleep will be his clock, safely keeping mine. His sleep tunes my dreams to listen. Our sleep binds the hour, heavy and warm, into a blanket of air and sound. My child is sitting cross-legged on the floor, reading to herself. Sometimes she is so full of need I push her to the floor. Only once I did that, and I don't even remember the moment right, but I was trying to wipe urine off my leg, and she was naughty like a squirrel and jumping and singing, and her head slammed into my chin, which hurt, and even more than that, it pissed me off. Because she's my beautiful child. But in that button snap of a moment, she was suddenly just one more person, and I pushed her away in a way that felt to me like setting her down, but awkwardly. Because of how she was, also balancing her feet on my feet as I tried to pour out a bowl of pee from her little potty, as a toothbrush dangled foaming from my mouth. Somewhere in the mess of that morning, she'd become a person enough too. In the space between us, create force and momentum, and then I did not set her down, but pushed her, and she fell away from me, she fell away from it against the wall, and was crying because I, her mommy, pushed her. And I know this should be the poem about how I horrified at myself, the poem about what in ourselves we have to live with. But in that moment, which followed 2 years of breastfeeding and baby wearing and 69 hours of natural childbirth, and the hemorrhaging and the uncertain operation, after which I pumped every 2 hours, careful not to let the cord tangle in the IV. Even then, when she cried, and no matter what, and no matter, and no matter, and no matter, and no matter what, I held her all night. If she cried, so she would not ever know someday you'll cry alone. But I held her, and ached and leaked, and bled too as long as it took. Of course, there have been nights since, but sometimes it feels as if I've never been asleep again. So when I say I pushed my 2-year-old against a wall, and I don't remember it happening that way, but it happened, and I did, and I've been wondering a long time now what the limit is, and where I find the end of myself. And that day, which was yesterday, was the end. And this day, when we played hide and seek with Daddy, touched bugs, and read Frog and Toad are friends, twice together before she read it to herself as I wrote this. This is the day that comes after.